It's the needle is almost touching 135. So it's like 130, I'd say about 132. The one starter dog there is broken. And from the dealer, that's about the only part I could get for this. There's some other sort of weed whacker or brush trimmer or something that uses these same dogs. The pins and the springs are not available, but these dogs are. So I got a set. The old guy at the saw shop told me I had to pull the flywheel and try to knock that pin out from behind, and then just carefully Loctite this pin back in, and it should work. So let's give her a go. Alright, so I just got a piece of pull cord rope shoved into the spark plug hole here to stop it from spinning. Might need something better than this, but we'll try it. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Okay. Now, don't have a puller for this. I guess I could just whack the end of the crank, which I'm not a big fan of, but I guess I don't have any other choice. Not a lot of room where those dogs are set up. Not a lot of room to get in there. Okay. You're going to laugh at me, but this is what I ended up doing. This was an old puller I had made years ago to actually pull the flywheel on this Suzuki dirt bike by my desk here. And I just tied this piece of string around underneath the flywheel and up around this. I cranked up on this and tapped on this until she popped. So it's not stupid if it works. So I'm just going by what the old guy at the saw shop told me. He said he just pounded out through the back there. To me it looks like it's just the aluminum casing there. But so I'm just going to hammer in there and see what happens. Okay, so there you go. It's just a straight round pin with a tapered bottom. So when I put it back together, it was a pretty tight fit. It goes in pretty far. I'm pretty confident with it not coming back out again. But the old boy said put a bit of Loctite on it, so I just gotta put the new dog on, a few drops of Loctite, and put her back in. So I just took a long punch, sat it face down on the wooden desk, and just drove it in from there. The end of that pin tapers, so that hole isn't the full size that looks like there. It's got a bit of a shoulder on it, so just make sure you have a punch that's a bit smaller in the end than into that hole. And you can hammer that in too tight. It's got a bit of a shoulder on it, so I thought you just drove it home. And I did, and this was tight, so I had to turn it around and tap it a bit loose. But it tapped in nice and tight. I was trying to put it all together with the spring hooked up, and the spring kept trying to jump up and behind, and it was a racket. So I realized that you can flip the spring off. So you can do it with the spring not tensioned up, and then pop it back into place after. And that, well, that went very well. So she's ready to go back together. The lighting is probably terrible, but here we go. Cold start. Ooh, that was a nice little scare. She was rattling like crazy. The flywheel wasn't tight. The threads were tightened up, but the threads must have been damaged a bit, and I thought it was tight. And okay. There, we got the string shoved back in there. And I thought I had her good and tight. I don't want to have it too tight. Nerve-wracking stuff. The rewind worked great though. What do you think? That washer looks a little off-centered. Is that normal? The washer inside there? Yikes. All we can do is try her, eh? May have already guessed it. I don't think it caused any other damage that I see, but it sheared the key and then she spun on her timing. Amateurs. Fuck. Okay. Well, I guess I'll need a key, so this will be a story for another day. Broken in half key, new key. That was a $3.85 mistake. Ah, but everything else looks fine. It's got that steel sleeve inside the flywheel. Nothing looks damaged at all whatsoever, actually, so I think I dodged a bullet there. Okay, it's Saturday, and my local saw shop's only open for another hour. So I'm going to see if I can get this clutch off and get a new drive sprocket today. You can just put a wrench on it to take it off, so that's handy. Judging by kind of what I gathered from the dealer, I don't know if this is the original clutch for this thing. So what I'm going to do is, if I can get it off quick and get to the dealer in time, I'll try to get something matched up. It's all okay, just the drive sprocket's getting pretty wore down, so if I can get a new one, that would be good. Alright, remember there's left-hand thread on here, so it actually has the arrow off. This way. It's a perfectly sized 5/8 socket. Just a classic old starter rope shoved down the spark plug hole to stop it from turning over. And yeah, let's go for it. This is an old saw and it's probably never been taken apart, or not for a long time. So working on it does make me nervous, especially knowing that I can't get parts for it. Well, that's okay. If you don't try, you'll never get anywhere. Okay. Okay, I need a better socket. Okay, so I had a 5/8 12-point socket and it would just skip off, so I've got a 5/8 6-point socket. Because the nut surface on this clutch is so shallow that any socket you buy, it's kind of got a rounded edge on the inside, so it just barely grabs the nut. But yeah, it came off with no troubles. So there we go. See? Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's that needle bearing. See, in the manual, this is listed as a separate sprocket. So it comes with this, but in the manual it's listed as a different type of setup. There's the clutch. So I think I got time. I'm gonna right to the saw shop real quick and see if they can match me up with something. So the original sprocket was, I guess it's called a drum sprocket with the attached, and with the removable round sprocket, that's called a rim sprocket, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but anyways, so there's the original. It's quite worn, so I was able to get a Oregon Power Mate. It's a 8-tooth. That's what was on it, and that's what they had in stock. So it's 8-tooth sprocket on there. See? So there's that. So now that's an easily replaceable part. there's that. Hopefully it's all together right. And then I got the flywheel back on with the new key. Yeah, I tightened it on, then put a socket on it and tapped down, tighten, tap, tighten, and so hopefully that's good. I don't know if I should have put Loctite on there because it's got that squished lock nut, and the second time around putting it back on, it went on quite a bit easier. So I don't know if I should have put maybe some blue Loctite on there, or now that I ran it a little bit, should I take it apart and retorque it? I don't know. I don't want that flywheel coming off again though. And then I need a bar plate. It's got the outer one, but doesn't got the inner one with the oil groove on it. So I took a bar plate off one of my other saws, and the center is a bit different, so I hogged the holes out and got it to set on. But it was close but different, so then I took and I sat the one down, and then used this one and kind of came up with a template of what I need with the adjuster slot and the oiler slot. Then the saw leaked bar oil everywhere, so now this is kind of soaked. So I want to get, like, I don't know, an old cookie sheet or some kind of old pot or pan or something, some kind of thin stainless, and then cut this out and make a bar plate. Man, this thing runs good. Like I said before, this is pretty well a one-pull saw. Like, that's just been sitting there forever. I just gave it 2 pulls and away it went. And it's snappy, even when it had the bar on it. Like, you just bump that throttle and it's picking the nose of the bar up. Like, this is a snappy little saw. This is going to be awesome.